I'm actually going to start us standing today. So just come on to your yoga mat, stand on up. We're going to do some feet work, footwork, both standing and then seated before we get into more of the traditional yoga asana, the yoga poses. So I want you to stand with your feet hip distance apart. And just look down, point your toes straight ahead, and point your heels straight back. Nice and simple, right? Extend the arms down by the side. And then for a moment, just take your gaze low and down in front of you. Don't close the eyes. It can help to keep our balance, of course, with the eyes opened. And then rock just slightly forward so that you're having to grip your toes to stay upright. And then through the center and rock just slightly back so that most of your weight is in your heels. And we're just going to do that nice and slow a couple of times. So forward like you're coming off of a ski lift, and then back towards the heels. Forward and back. And then let your body rest in the center. As you do that, take a hand to your low belly, a hand to your low back. I'm just going to pin my video here and give attention to your breath, awareness to your breath. Easy inhale, easy exhale. Maybe even close the eyes, bring your attention and awareness a little bit more inward. And then you can release the hands back down by your side and put your mind's eye back in your feet and lift all 10 toes. Spread them as wide apart as possible. Sometimes if I do the same thing with my hands, it actually helps a little bit. And then can you think toe by toe, put it back down onto the ground. Push your weight forward again, but not only forward, but try to push all of your weight into the big toe or the pad of the big toes. And then spread the weight across towards your pinky toes. What do you need to do in the belly to bring your awareness back through the center and also spread the weight back into the tip of your heel? So I want us to think of our foot like a triangle. Base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe, and back to the edge of the heel. And if I stay that aware of all the 3 points of the foot, I notice in myself, maybe you notice something similar in yourself. I feel a little more pulled up or drawn up through the front side of the body, a little more intent in the muscular of the abdomen. And then let your head drop down, round your shoulders, bend your knees, and do a little forward hang here. As you do a forward hang, can you let your head really release? Maybe a little bit of a shake, yes and no. And go back to that slight rocking forward and back on your feet. Hold on to your elbows. And then sway your elbows and your upper body a little bit side to side to further release in the upper body. Let a few deep breaths out. And then slowly roll back up to standing, just kind of stacking, stacking, stacking. Roll the shoulders up and back again. And then take one arm up to the sky. Reach a little higher on just that one side. And then lean over. So you're getting length and stretch through the side body. Perfect. Come back to the center, release the arm. Do that on the other side. Lift the second arm up. A little bit higher up, shoulder goes towards the ear. And then over to the side. Notice what happens in the feet, just little shifts in the weight as we do this. Okay, and come back to the center, lower the arm. Let's sit all the way down. And stretch your legs straight out in front of you. I'll go a little bit to the side here. So with the legs straight out in front, try to sit up as high as you can so that we're not in a rocked back position. Sometimes that means a little bend in the knees is necessary to sit really tall through the spine. Okay, cross the right ankle over the left thigh into a figure 4 shape and then lean forward just a little bit. Little opening in our hips. Okay, and then come back upright in the torso and thread your opposite fingers in between your toes. And to the best that we can, we want to go all the way, finger webs down to the webs of the toes, and really spread the fingers wide to spread the toes. And then grip the hand around the toes and circle the ankle, one direction and the other. Let the hand go and do a big flex and point. Use both of your hands to manipulate the foot into a flex and a point, back and forth. We need a lot of flexibility in our feet. We also need a lot of stability in our feet. Many of the standing poses help to give us that stability. Take the hands above the ankle here, lift the leg and give it a shake, 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 shake. So we're just going to play with the combination, making sure our feet in particular are nice, open, available, and stable for us today. Okay, second leg, cross the left ankle over the right thigh. And then lean forward until you feel a good stretch in your outer hip. Just nice, easy breath. And then you'll come back upright. And again, we'll interlace our now right hand in between the left toes. Try to get webbing to webbing and spread the fingers to spread the toes nice and wide apart. And then grip around and do big ankle circles. We'll go in both directions here, all the way one direction and all the way the other direction. Just getting some movement in. Right, you'll take your hand out, use both hands to flex and point the left foot really strongly. Move it as much as you can, one direction and the other. When we work with our feet this way, it's also just a wonderful way to let the brain switch. Hold on above your ankle and bring ourselves more aware of the physical body outside of all the mental work of the day. So both feet back out in front of you. Flex, point the toes straight up. And again, maybe there's a little bend behind the knees so you can sit up as tall as possible here. So no kyphosis in the back. We want to try to be nice and tall for this position. And then take your arms out to the side. I'm going to just turn my body. So arms straight out to the side, and our arms are like levers. They're going to help us twist bigger, twist to one side. And when the arms are way out like this, you can probably get a little more twist than you would if you weren't using the arms out. So come back to your center and twist in the opposite direction. Twist, twist, twist. Those arms like big propellers help with the leverage into a deeper twist in the spine. And then we'll come back to the middle. Good. Release the arms. Okay, we're gonna go back up to standing. Come on up. And this is how we started, just nice and simple again. Feet hip distance apart, toes straight ahead, heels straight back. We're doing this little minute work today. I want you now to bend your knees and take your body weight slightly forward. So I'm just like slightly forward on a slope here. So far forward that as you look down, I still want the knees over the second and third toes, but you are having to engage the core so that you don't fall over. And then can you bring yourself back to a middle position? Straighten the legs and come up onto the toes. We call this releve in ballet. And you want to try to lift the heels straight, straight, straight up as high as they work. You'll lift up on the kneecaps, tone in the quads. Nice pull lift through the pelvic floor to keep us steady here. If you fall over, no big deal. You just try to come back to it. And then can you rebend the knees and extend the arms straight out in front of you so you've got that leverage to help with balance. And like we did seated, can you twist to one direction, bring one arm back behind you? And I'm trying to do all of this in a releve. It's probably throwing you off balance some. We just do our best with it. Come back to the center and twist to the second direction. Ooh. And then back to the center, lower your heels down, straighten the legs. Shake it out a little bit. What happens if we take our feet just a little bit wider apart than that? Hands to your hips. And go back up to your toes, back into the releve. Try not to roll to the outside of the ankles. We want to bring those heels straight up, and it might be just a little off the ground, a little higher as the ankles allow. And then rebend the knees and take the arms out in front. Big, big tone in the belly. Keep the left arm where it is. Take the right arm to the side and then back behind you so that you're twisting. And right arm to the front. We're still with heels up as best we can. Take the left arm back. And take the left arm forward. I'm laughing a little because I keep falling off balance. Set the heels down and stand up. Okay, shake out the legs. Little bits of work, takes a lot of concentration. Let's do big movements, a little less concentration in the feet. Come up to the front of the yoga mat. Reach your arms up to the sky. And then exhale, forward fold, and step back to downward facing dog. And downward facing dog, your feet should be like we first started, about hip distance apart, toes straight ahead and heels straight back. And then like we did in releve, lift the heels as high as you can towards the sky. And bend your knees down low like we just did. And if you can remember where you found some balance, it was by extending the arms out front and trying to get as much of a pull long through the spine. So you're doing the same thing in this direction. Keep doing all that you're doing, but straighten your legs and press your heels more down towards the ground. And change. Come forward to plank position, the top of your push-up. Lay flat down onto your yoga mat. And take your arms back behind you. Turn the palms up towards the sky. And lift everything that you can up away from the mat. Lower it all the way down and press back to child's pose. It goes hips to the heels. Reach the arms out long in front of you. This is always a nice counter pose in the back. Give it a little rounding here. I also want you to try to sit pretty heavy, but towards the heels here, so that you are giving the front of your foot a good stretch. And then walk the hands a little bit over to the right. Walk the hands across the center and a little over to the left. And back to the middle, come up to all fours. Step the right foot forward and then lift the back knee off of the ground until we're in a low lunge. Right foot forward, left foot back in our low lunge. Try to use as much of the length of your yoga mat as possible here. And stretch the right arm up to the sky so we come into a twist. And then because we're making these little changes in the feet today, can you just shift your weight a little bit forward and a little bit back? So like bringing the left heel over the toes and then pushing back, and it just rocks the whole body. Little changes in the foot, change the entire container. Okay, lower the right hand back down and step both feet to the front of the mat. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. And then exhale, lower back down. And step back, downward facing dog. And then here we are again, feet still about hip distance apart. We'll go through those same actions. Lift the heels high. Bend your knees. What do you do to balance out the weight? Press through your arms, through your hands. Lift your seat up into the sky. And then keeping all of that, make the legs straighter and push your heels towards the ground. Come forward to plank and lie flat down onto your yoga mat. Great, stretch the arms back behind you and lift everything that you can up. What happens if you turn your palms in? So my thumbs are pointed down, pinky finger more up, wrist in towards each other, try to lift. And then lower it all the way down to your yoga mat and press back, hips to the heels in child's pose. And this time, come through all fours and swing the left foot forward into the low lunge. Bring the right knee off of the ground. Again, we're trying to get front knee, ankle right over line one another. Feel equal weight in that front foot, base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe, back of the heel. Stretch your left arm up to the sky. And then here's where we'll play with a little bit of a rock, forward and back. Forward and back. You can think of it as activating from the back leg or from the front leg. A little bit of both, right? Okay, nice job. Lower the left hand down. Step the right foot forward. Plant both feet. Stand all the way up. Arms to the sky. This time just arms down by your side. Give it all a little bit of a shake. Okay, Okay, since we're working on feet mobility and stability today, balance positions make sense. Little extra challenge. Again, take the feet hip distance apart, look down so that your toes are straight ahead and your heels are straight back. And the reason that we're doing this, and if you bend your knees a little bit, we want the knees to always go over the second and third toes. Yeah, straight ahead. And then you have to notice within your anatomy, some of us tend to be a little bit more turned in and the knees will fall into the center, or bow-legged where they'll go out. And either of those is putting strain on one side of the knee or the other. Neither one are a bad thing. It's simply how we're built and finding what is your neutral. So you want to go to your neutral, keeping the knee over the center of your foot. Arms out for some leverage. That helps with keeping balance. And lift your right knee up. So right knee up. And we're just going to swing it forward and back here. Bring it up and in, straighten the legs, swing it straight back. A couple of times, back and forth. Notice what's happening with the weight and the standing leg. And then to the best of your ability, put equal weight into your big toe, pinky toe, and back of the heel. Now I want us to keep the right knee up and into the center. Hold on to the front of your leg to give yourself some more balance. Change the hands to hold under your thigh. Still with me? Make your right leg as straight as you can. Can you push through your right big toe as much as you're pushing through the big toe of the standing leg? And then lower the foot down to the floor. As you lower the right foot, just take a moment, a couple of breaths. Did the weight significantly shift around in your foot once you had both feet on the ground? Again, none of these questions are to say that something is right or wrong, but just so that we can switch over into the feeling body. That's where our yoga practice, we want to make sure we're feeling the practice. Get us out of the analytical mind a little bit. Arms out in front. And then we're going to try this on the second side. So we're going to pull the left knee up, or second leg for you. Notice immediately what's happening on your standing leg. How do you need to adjust? Do you need to push out a little bit, forward a little bit to keep your balance? And then let's take it with some motion. Straighten the leg, kick it straight back. If you could keep the toes on a string, it needs to go straight up and back. Don't let it turn out to the side. Every time. And then we're going to keep the knees straight ahead. Hold on to the front of your shins. On that standing leg, lift up on your kneecap, tone the quad. Now we stay and work there, or change the hands to hold under your thigh. I think that's easier. Stay like that, or straighten your leg as much as you can. As you straighten the leg, stand up really, really tall. Use the lever of your body now to make this work. Good. Lower the leg. Love it. Shake it out. Let's come back up to the front of the mat. Let's add that into our little flow. Lift the arms up. Exhale, fold down. Step back to downward facing dog. Okay, same thing, different direction. Lift the right leg up. As you lift the right leg, flex the foot and point the toe down to the floor. Now, we move the container of the body. Shift to plank position and pull your knee in. Three-legged dog, shift the butt up, leg up. We do this sometimes. Forward, knee in. up and back. Forward, knee in, and up and back. And then forward, knee in, and step the foot all the way through into your low lunge. Okay, remember the 3 corners of your foot, big toe, pinky toe, back of the heel. Keep them even as you come upright in the torso, and arms to the sky. Add a twist, left arm to the front, right arm to the back. We did that standing already. Arms back up. Lower the hands. Lower the hands to the inside of your foot and spin the back heel flat against the ground. Line up front heel to your back heel. And then come upright in the torso, extend your arms out in either direction. Warrior 2, warrior 2. In warrior 2, sit low enough in the hips that you start to get a stretch through your inner thigh. And on that front leg, we want the knee still to open over the center of the foot. And something like having a higher arch in your foot that rolls you out to the side means that every single time you do an open hip position, you're gonna have to put more pressure through the big toe than somebody that had flatter arches. Yeah? So it's like getting to know the feeling and makeup of our own body. Right elbow to the knee and send the top arm overhead. Still evenly working that press of the front foot and even press of the back foot. The rest of the pose just kind of like bonus today. We're really thinking about the feet. Okay, lower the hands either side of the front foot. Spin the back heel up. Step back to plank position. Lie flat down on the belly. Take the hands back behind you and lift. So again, we're turning the palms in towards each other and then keep rotating so the palms turn down. You can even turn the palms so much that they go out towards the side. So just a little switch up there, playing with the shoulders. And then lie all the way flat down and push back to child's pose. We'll go ahead and do the second side here. Come back to downward facing dog. And it starts with that 3-legged dog. So nice and slow. Lift the left leg up, flex the foot, toes point down to the floor. Okay. Pull the knee into the chest, and then it's a big flex in the back foot to change forward into plank. And then that right foot goes flatter to the ground as we lift the hips up and back, 3-legged dog again. Again, pull the knee into the chest, change forward to plank, and then up and back. And one more time here, knee into the chest, up and back. Okay, step it all the way through to your lunge. Especially on this side for me, I need a couple of extra steps. Make sure you keep stepping until you get your full stride, and then bring it upright. The slower I go, the more I notice that my tendency is to roll out on that front leg. So I've got to keep pushing down through the front big toe. Maybe you find the same thing. Maybe not. Arms up. It's not about doing it the same, it's just finding your way, yeah? Let's add the twist. Left arm goes behind you, right arm out in front. There we go, arms up to the sky. And then lower the hands on the inside of your foot and spin the right foot flat against the ground. Okay, before you bring your body upright, we get our feet exactly how they're gonna stay. Heel to heel in alignment. Feel all three corners of the foot. Again, base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe, back of the heel. And then those things are gonna stay, and lift your torso upright. You can let your chest open to the side. Extend the arms out. If you bend the front knee more, what is its tendency? My knee's tendency is to fall in now, to put too much weight on the big toe side of the foot. So I'm going to rotate it open so that my pinky toe side gets more weight. Notice what your tendency is. Find how to put equal weight. And then change elbow to knee, top arm, palm down overhead. We'll lower both hands down to the mat, step back to plank, belly down. Just for fun, adding in the hands, they go back behind you. Try interlacing your hands now behind the back. See if you can keep that clasp as you come up. The answer might be no. If it is, just let the arms release. And lower it down, press back to child's pose. Hips to your heels. Give it a couple of breaths. Change to downward facing dog. And then look forward in between your hands. Walk it all the way up. And come on up to standing. Reach the arms high. And lower the arms down. Give it all a little bit of a shake. Okay? So everything we've done has been using the flat of the foot. We're going to go into side plank, which is going to use the outer edge of the foot. Pinky toe side, back to the heel. But we still evenly press through, if this was my foot, big toe side, pinky toe side, and heel, even though half of that is going to be off of the ground. It'll make sense when we do it together. Come back to downward facing dog. And lift up to your heel, lift the heels off of the floor, so we're back to that releve position. Spin to the outer edge of your right foot, just the right foot. So outer edge, pinky toe to your outer edge of the heel, and then stack. Match your big toes together. As you stack the feet, press down through your right arm and lift your left arm to the sky. Keep your hips as high as you can in side plank. Lower the left hand back down and go back to downward facing dog. We're not staying there long. We just want to get that feel of the entire outer edge of the foot. Okay, so we keep left hand where it is, spin to the outer edge of the left foot. Now I've got my foot flexed, spread all the toes, so it feels as though I'm still pushing into something with the right big toe. Stack both feet and lift the right arm to the sky. And go back to downward facing dog. Lower your knees down to the ground. We will get that in one more time from a forearm plank. This asks a little less of the shoulder. So we're going to go down to the forearms. Go to plank position, feet back. Look at your toes. Outer edge of the right foot. Now what happens if you press your hips higher? Is it easier or harder? We want as much ease as possible, even in hard poses. Try to push your hips up, stack the feet, and take the left arm to the sky. Maybe it works, maybe it works. Nicely done. Go back down to your forearm. You can take the arms like an equal sign, and that might give you a little bit more leverage. And then go to the outer edge of the left foot so that the left forearm and the outer edge of the left foot kind of forming the same line. Stack and take the right arm up. Push out through that bottom foot to keep you energetic. And then come all the way back to your knees. Child's pose, give it a little rest. One more downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward into a low lunge. And hands come to the inside. We're going to a wide-legged forward fold. So we rotate our feet, walk the hands through your center. In the wide-legged forward fold, again, paying attention to how we're using our feet, toes straight ahead, heels straight back. Walk the hands forward enough that you can have most of the weight in your toes. Like, can you even lift your heels off of the ground? As you set the heels back down, just soft, 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 not a lot of weight. Keep, say, 3/4 of your weight in your big toe, out to the pinky toe side of your foot, forward in your feet here. And then change that. Bend your knees a little bit and push your weight back so you're more loaded in the legs and a little bit back in your heels. Keep your legs loaded. Walk your hands to the center line of your feet. And drop your head down towards the yoga mat. Okay, with every inch that you straighten your legs, take a little bit of weight forward. If you straighten 2 inches, a little more weight goes forward into your toes, a little less weight in the heels. Go like that. Legs do not have to go all the way straight. They might go straighter. Nice and slow. And then as you re-bend the knees, take the weight back again, more into your heels. Legs stay loaded. Keep the legs loaded. Walk your hands out so they're under the line of your shoulders. So with the legs loaded, the hips can stay more planted. Take the right arm out to your side and twist. Twist in your spine. Hips stay there. Spine moves. So the weight in our feet is helping how we move in our torso. Arm goes down, twist to the other side. Left arm out. Keep the legs loaded, hips pretty planted. Tone and turn in the torso. And then left arm goes down. Heel toe your feet all the way in. Little ragdoll position, just let your body hang. And then you get to sit all the way down to your yoga mat. Good? All right, soles of the feet together. And again, just really inspect your feet. Can you push the base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe, and our heels all solidly flat together. So don't let them open up like a book. It's nice and closed. Keeping that, lean forward to the degree that your body allows you to. And we don't want just the head and upper body to hang forward. We want to think of everything curving forward at the same rate, like a rainbow. Keep smashing your feet together to extend the knees out in either direction. Option, if you don't like leaning forward, sometimes it doesn't feel great, is to lean back instead. And then come back to your neutral. Hold on to the outside of your knees to bring your legs in. Stretch your legs straight out. Okay, well versed in the feet here. So right foot in, cross it over. And again, we're just going to keep those 3 corners of the feet planted down on the mat. A lot of times the big toe side likes to roll up here, so we're going to keep it down. With that planted, it doesn't matter if it's closer to your ankle or closer to the hip. Just wherever you can keep the foot flat. And because that's anchored down, hips are anchored down, I'm going to try to lift out of the ground. Keep the spine lifted and twist. What happened? Actually, hold on to the front of your knee and twist towards your right. And then if you take your arms out, do you have a little more leverage to twist more? Probably. And set the elbow to the outside of the knee and keep that as your twist. Remember, right foot flat on the ground, both sides of your seat flat on the ground. And then we untwist and come on back to the center, release the leg. Second side, left foot in, and then cross it over. Again, foot flat, both sides of the butt flat on the ground. Don't let that big toe come up. Keeping the hands to the front of the shin, but without really using it for leverage, just twist. So twist without using the arms. And then extend the arms out and see if they can help you. Airplane wings, get a little further twist. Drop the back hand to be an anchor. Cross the front elbow to the outside of the knee. And there's your twist. Okay, inhale, and we'll come out of the twist. Extend both legs straight out in front of you. Flex the feet to start, pointing the toes straight up towards the sky. And then think of a long extension of the spine to reach over and forward. So try not to go to the rounded back right away. Instead, keep the chest lifted and look out past the toes here. Notice with a flex in your foot, press out through the big toe, pull back through the pinky toes. Where is the stretch mostly felt in your body? What are you feeling here? And then come out about halfway and point your toes. So now legs extended, toes pointed, and fold over again. How does that change the stretch? It unbinds my hamstrings a little bit to point to the feet, so I might feel as though I can get more depth with the chest closer to the legs here. But I feel this intensity in the front of the legs now. Come on up. Flex the feet again. Go back to the first way, just so we see how changing something like the foundation of the feet, even when we're not standing on them, can totally change a pose. The body's so cool that way. Come on up. Lie down onto your back. Pull the knees into the chest. Give it a good little squeeze. And we'll do same sort of thing. Sole the left foot on the ground. Stretch the right leg up to the sky. And you just hold on the right leg wherever feels comfortable. And point and flex and point and flex. And then stay with the point. Take it into a little more stretch. Leg closer to the body, to the torso. Release the stretch, flex the foot, and take it into a little deeper stretch. How is that different? If you can't remember, you can point the foot right here and then flex. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh, so we're in a figure 4 shape. Keep the foot flexed here and pull the the left knee in. Thread your arms through. And then even try left leg straight up towards the sky, both feet flexed. What about pointing the top foot? If you point the top foot, you might be able to take it in a little bit deeper. Hands towards the calf and kind of roll your butt just barely off the ground. And then let it all go. 2 feet down to the mat. Windshield wiper the legs. Side to side. Let the knees just fall side to side a couple times. Back to the center. All right, let's stretch our left leg straight up towards the sky. Flex and point a couple of times. You can hold on or not. Let's start with a pointed foot and then take it into a little more intensive stretch. Hold on to your calf, pull the leg closer to the torso. And I've got that bottom foot just flat on the ground here, so we're not having to worry about the bottom leg. Back off enough that you can flex the foot. And then do you still have the same range? How is it different? Check in, notice what you feel, notice what you notice. Heart of the practice, just getting us to more awareness. Flex and point the foot, keeping the stretch. We did feet today. You could do this with any body part, really. Just do the same poses, same practice, but give it a different focal point. Lots of things change, at least for me. Cross the left ankle over the knee and then pull the right leg in. Just for comparison's sake, you could make the feet unflex the feet and just let them be relaxed versus flex the foot, engage the muscles, pull it in, notice the difference. Okay, stretch the right leg straight into the air, maybe hold on closer to your calf or ankle, even pull the leg closer to you so that you rest more on your mid to low back. And then release everything back down, 2 feet to the ground. Good. Feet outer hip distance apart to let the windshield wipers go from side to side. Okay. Last little bit here, just stretch the arms overhead, stretch the feet way out in front of you. Big full reach. And set the soles of the feet on the mat one more time. Lift your hips up like 2 inches and then scoot them over to the right and set it down so that you feel a little zigzaggy in shape here. Then take the feet off of the ground. So if your hips are to the right, then we would lay our knees down to the left. Arms out to either side. Bend at the elbows if you don't have a ton of space there. One nice thing about doing the twist this way is that it keeps us on our yoga mat a little bit more. But the other reason here, focus no longer is on the feet. I'm looking at the container of hips up to shoulders and head and keeping that more in one line. And the legs are twisting around it. Okay, bring the knees back, set the feet down. You should be in that zigzag shape again. Go back to your center. And then you're gonna lift the hips and shift them to the left 2 inches, set them down so you feel a little zigzaggy. Feet off of the ground. Let the knees go over to the right side now. So that if you could take a little snapshot in mind's eye, you'd have a pretty straight line from the base of your seat up to the top of the head. And it's really the container of the torso that gets to do the twist rather than the hips and legs helping. All right, then we'll bring it back into the middle and just readjust. Hug the knees into the chest one more time. Do happy baby here if you'd like, with the knees wide, holding onto your feet. And then from happy baby, lay back for Shavasana. Wiggle the toes a little bit so that the feet relax and send that sense of relaxation up the legs into the trunk of the body, up the trunk or the torso of the body to the shoulders. Relax down the arms into the hands. And travel back up from the hands, arms, shoulders. Relax, release. Let go of any last tension in head, neck, and shoulders. Let the eyes close. Tongue drop from the roof of the mouth. Allow your teeth to part. Breathe as simple as possible in and out of the nose. If your mind gets busy here as the body relaxes, give the mind the job of watching the breath. Give yourself about 5 more deep breaths in this relaxation. And ever so slowly make your way back to a seated position. In the seat, keep your eye gaze low or the eyes closed. One more time before we close our practice, notice how you feel. And then draw palms together, thumbs to the sternum, bow your head in an offering of gratitude, of thanks to yourself, each other gathered here, and for this practice. Close with the word namaste. Namaste. Thank you.